Hey guys, how we doing tonight? I'm gonna let you know one thing right now. One thing I've decided is in all of my videos, I'm not going to end the video by telling you what I'm going to video next, because it will stop making me a liar. I told those of you that are interested in my TNA vids that I would be doing a preview video for Victory Road yesterday before I did this one. Tonight, I didn't end up doing it. I don't really have an excuse other than I went to a concert last night. P.S. Buck Cherry and Papa Roach kick ass. I don't know if you can tell, but my throat feels like I'm swallowing daggers. I hope I don't sound like shit. I have no idea how this video is going to turn out, but I'm only doing it once. So, I said I was going to do a preview video for Victory Road. I did not get a chance to do it. I am sorry for that. All my preview video would have said to you was which matches I was looking forward to and which ones I wasn't. The ones I thought were going to be shit were Hernandez and Morgan, Bully Ray and Dreamer, Sarita and Rosita versus Angelina and Winter. And the ones that I thought had potential were Matt Hardy versus AJ Styles, the Ultimate X match, the #1 Contenders match, and Hardy versus Sting. Now, okay, so here we go. This is Victory Road. It just ended a little while ago. I've got to sound like shit. There's no way that I don't. So if you bear with me, I thank you a lot. If you want to skip this one, I guess, do it. I don't really have any say in the matter, do I? Right from the opening vid package of this pay-per-view, it became perfectly obvious that we are now entering a very, very let's kiss Sting's ass time in TNA once again. The entire opening package was about Sting and, well, Sting and Hogan, really, which is not right because Hogan's not fighting and Sting, I don't know. And the opening package should be about the entire pay-per-view, not just one match. I don't care whether it's the main event or not. I guarantee you when we see the opening package for WrestleMania, it's going to have more in it than just Undertaker Triple H, for example. And they ended off the opening package with, "We are on the road to lockdown." And I'm like, road to WrestleMania? Why are you trying to be WWE? But whatever. Started off with Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer. And if you wanted to take a 10-minute piss break before anything else happened, this was the match. Bully Ray comes out, grabs the mic, and in case anybody didn't already know that he was a heel, sat out there for 2 minutes kissing Hogan and Bischoff's ass. Ultimate point of that being that, hey, this has become a no disqualification match. Really, you don't need to say it, do you? Anytime you get one of the Dudleys fighting by himself, or Tommy Dreamer, or any of the ECW guys that aren't involved in the main event scene, when you get them fighting each other, you know it's going to be no DQ one way or the other. So it's a foregone conclusion. I don't know why they had to waste all that time on it. Very, very, like, mind-rottingly typical hardcore match stuff. They spent about 2 minutes in the ring, quickly outside to the stairs, the posts, the rails, hitting each other with chairs and so on and so forth, until Tommy Dreamer goes into the crowd. Now, keep in mind, this is at Universal Orlando, so it's like a park outside and a arena inside, so you got all the people out in the arena that have spent all day winning prizes and shit. Tommy Dreamer goes to the crowd and grabs a big, if you guys, depending on where you are in the world, I hope you've heard of the movie Despicable Me. It's a random animated piece of shit that I don't even want to bother seeing, but it's a stuffed character from that movie, and he hits Bubba Ray, or Bully Ray, in the head with the stuffed animal. And at this point, I even wrote it in my notes. I wrote, actually on the paper here, I'm not going to write any more notes about this match, but then I went back on that because it just got worse after that. Because he hit him with a stuffed animal, he hit him with a bottle of water, he spit water in his face, and even Taz, on commentary, is saying, "Oh no, not the dreaded bottle of water." So, you know, I don't know whether it was a botch or not, but he almost ended up smoking SoCal Val with a kendo stick, which is always good. And then, once Tommy Dreamer has Bubba Ray down in the ring, he goes under the ring, and I'm thinking, okay, it'll be a ladder or a chair or a kendo stick. No, it's an inflatable woman. Really? Really? Lays it down, 69 position on Bubba Ray, because that's tasteful, and then gives him a splash from the top rope with the inflatable woman on top. Bubba Ray gets all pissed off. He throws it down and starts elbow dropping the inflatable woman. Oh, yes he does. One of them, I don't even remember who it was, but one of them went down for a pin, and the referee broke up the pin because one of them grabbed the ropes. In a match that's supposed to have no rules. In a match that if you wanted to, you could pin somebody on the stairs if you had enough coordination. But no, you can beat somebody senseless. You can run their face across a cheese grater. You can crack their throat in a folding chair. But no, you grab the ropes and you don't get the win. Bubba gets Tommy Dreamer down at one point, demands a microphone, starts randomly talking shit. Now, heel or face, your job in a match, like especially in a match like this, is to make the other guy look tough. If you got a guy that's so weak and pathetic and non-existent to you that you can get on the mic and start randomly talking shit, why are you bothering to have the match, and why am I bothering to watch it? There's my thought there. Starts talking shit about I can speak, I swear. Bubba Ray starts talking shit about Devon, who's not even in the match, and then Devon's kids, one of them all dramatic with a neck collar on because he's so damaged, are standing up in the rampway. Bubba Ray is facing them. Devon sneaks up behind Bubba Ray. Devon and Tommy Dreamer hit a 3D on Bubba Ray for a very, very predictable win, and the crowd goes fucking nuts at the end of this, and I don't get it. I mean, yeah, it's a happy moment that Devon got his revenge on Bully Ray, but nobody really cares about these. I don't want to see these guys fight. I don't want to see Tommy Dreamer fighting either of these guys. And it's just, like, again, I even wrote it on the sheet here. It's like, can this please be over? Can the rivalry between Bully Ray and Devon be over? Can they retire? Can Devon go do something else? Can Bubba Ray stop trying to be a badass because he's not good at it? And somebody please pass a law that none of them are allowed to pick up a microphone. Ever. Just ever. Alright. Page 1. Garbage cans over here now. I'm not going for the long distance shots anymore. Women's tag team match. Angelina Love and Winter versus Sarita and Rosita. Now, based on the matches that Velvet Sky has been having with Sarita recently, I had a high hope. It was on the far outer cusp of possibility, but I had the high hope that this could be a decent match. But no. Beautiful people are having their drama. Velvet Sky, Angelina Love, Winter, weirdness. Meanwhile, in the ring, Sarita and Rosita are sitting there talking mostly in Spanish about how, the Spanish community is going to get all the things back that they should have had to begin with, starting with the women's tag team title. And it's like, really don't do it, because Hernandez is already pulling that angle right now. And, like, pulling out the race card, just because it's a hot button issue, does not jumpstart a rivalry in wrestling. Like, we all remember back in the days of Los Boricuas and the Nation of Domination and groups like that were founded on racially motivated stuff, and it's just, why are you doing it? Winter comes out to the ring with a lace blindfold on, and then just randomly takes it off when they start the match. The match really doesn't do much other than to sort of build up Winter as somebody who's got a little bit of a power advantage over the rest of the knockouts. Sarita and Rosita tried a couple different tag team, double team moves that most of them were botched and failed hard. There was an incident where one of the, I think it was Rosita, brought in one of the title belts to distract the ref. The ref was distracted on the outside. Velvet came in and interfered. There was a really, really sloppy ending that didn't make much sense. And Sarita and Rosita are your new women's tag champs. It was just like, no. Okay, so 2 for 2 so far that just make me want to shake my head. And if I'm not shaking my head enough already, we are spending the entire Victory Road pay-per-view celebrating Jeff and Karen's honeymoon. I shouldn't even justify this. the whole storyline being that Jeff has kind of lost his mind and thinks that taking their, like, 6 or 8 or 12 kids through the amusement park that they live near constitutes a honeymoon, which is, you know, annoying, and Karen Angle obviously goes nuts all night and screams and does a very, very Vicky Guerrero-ish attitude throughout the whole night, so I'm not gonna get into much detail on that. Morgan and Hernandez first blood match. Didn't think anything of this going in. Like I say with the last match, the racially motivated storylines in wrestling don't do anything for me. B, it's a recycled rivalry. Like, this was a hot button rivalry like last year, and I didn't like it then. C, it's a big man and big man match, which again, for me, I don't know if there's a big audience out there for it, but it's like, you know, Kane and Big Show, Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, and they're always a letdown. Another typical slow, average, hardcore match, you know, with the fans in the Impact Zone chanting, "We want blood, we want blood," and as soon as they start that chant, all the typical hardcore stuff ends, and they come back in the ring with some half-ass decent, you know, mat work and some power moves and whatnot. Couple minutes of that, couple minutes of them fighting over a broken stick that they try to take each other's eye out, which were really, really horribly done spots, because, you know, even in wrestling, even as hardcore as TNA tries to be sometimes, you're not going to get somebody jabbed in the eye with a broken stick. I mean, it's just, like, I don't know. They have a random fan in a jersey run through the ring and out again, so there's a distraction. Hernandez pulls out a chain. Morgan blocks the shot from the chain, gives him a shot with the chain himself. With the referee down, Hernandez goes to the corner where his, you know, bandana or whatever the rest of his come to the ring gimmick shit is, gets a bottle of something, sprays it all over Morgan so that it looks like he's bleeding. Morgan loses the match. 3 for 3 redonkulous matches. I try to stick up for TNA. Anybody who watches this channel or has watched it since I opened it up knows that I'm one of the few that hasn't said, you know, fuck TNA, we'll stick through WWE and hope it gets better. I've always tried to stick up for TNA, but 3 for 3 so far, just, oh, I got nothing. We have the Ultimate X match, and I'm thinking, okay, there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. Now, to all those who talk down to the spot matches, who talk down and say that anything more than a wrestling psychology mat grappling classic shouldn't even be on television. This is a spot match, and I love it. It's why Money in the Bank is so popular. It's why if there's no Money in the Bank this year at WrestleMania, people are going to be pissed. Ultimate X is like the next step up from a ladder match, and it is awesome when done correctly. I don't know why they put Robbie E in this match, but whatever. So, me being a mark for a spot fest, I am just going to go point for point, spot for spot, and not even try to have any semblance of order as to how I describe this. But went into this thinking I don't care what happens as long as Robbie E loses. They go to a promo with the Bucks in the back where I guess they're trying to start a dissension story between them, because Max kind of says Jeremy's only here to help me win, and we've already decided that. Kaz cuts a pretty decent promo in the back with Christy Hemme, makes a joke about Charlie Sheen, which made me giggle, and there's a shit promo from Robbie E and Cookie outside while they're trying to get an ice cream or something, which is retarded. They put out a decent video package leading up to the Ultimate X match. I'm not gonna lie. I've been paying, as you know, I've been paying a lot more attention to the video packages that they put on before the matches, because some of them are really good and some of them are shit. Starting off the match, both Bucks get rid of Robbie E while Cookie is busy trying to get rid of Kaz. So, you know, yeah, you got Kaz out of the way, but your guy's also out on the other side of the ring. Kaz hits a nice leg drop from hanging on the wire onto Robbie E. Kaz is on the wire within the first minute of the match, which is pretty cool. Jeremy Buck pulls off a slingshot X Factor onto, I believe it's Kazarian. The Bucks roll into a Bucks help each other build momentum, and it leads into a springboard inside the ring to outside of the ring moonsault on, I believe it's Robbie. And with Robbie E out, Jeremy deals with Kaz as Max keeps trying for the belt. Yeah. Ultimate X is a lot more fun when there's more than 4 guys in it. Thought I'd point that out. Max falls off the cables and gets caught in a pretty decent cutter by Kaz. Max hits a neckbreaker from the top rope on Robbie E, but does it from a moonsault position. He leaves the top rope like he's performing a moonsault, but instead of hitting a ground opponent, he grabs his head on the way down. So best I can call it is a moonsault neckbreaker. Kaz puts Max head first through the truss, the caging apparatus that holds up the X, and to his credit, Max sells the injury to the shoulders and neck quite well. There is the standard, what you see in every Ultimate X match. There's the Tower of Doom suplex on Kaz by Jeremy Buck and Robbie E. Kaz hits the Fade to Black on Robbie E. Fade to Black isn't necessarily a big spot, but it always looks nice as a move. Then he hits the Flux Capacitor on Jeremy. Jeremy is taken down by Max, and they start having a little brotherly feud. The Bucks battle at the top of the cable, while Robbie E gets a ladder and Kaz walks across the top of the cables. The Bucks fall off, and Robbie E standing on the ladder, which shouldn't be involved in an Ultimate X match, but whatever. Robbie E standing on the ladder. Kazarian is standing on top of the cables. They're having a tug-of-war for the belt, and basically Kaz wins the tug-of-war and he wins the match. Now, for the two of them to just sit up there having a tug-of-war with the belt to end the match, not the most climactic way to end the match, but far better than I've tried to explain them. There were a lot of good spots in this match, and like I say, that's the kind of match it is. Say what you will about spot matches, they're a different kind of match to perform, they're a different kind of match to do, and if you're good at it, whether it's classic or not, whether there's psychology or not, if you're good at that, the people that are looking for that in a pay-per-view will give you the credit you deserve, like me. More Jeff Jarrett and Karen Angle crap. Beer Money and Ink Inc. for the tag team titles. I love matches like this. And when I say matches like this, I mean there's sort of a traditional team and there's a non-traditional team. You got, Beer Money that comes out, they look like a tag team, they've got, similar tights, they've got a similar image, they've very, very old school looking thing, and anybody who knows anything about Ink Inc. knows that they're anything but. They come out all tattooed with their mohawks all jacked up and so on and so forth, and Shannon Moore with all his different spikes and trench coat and all that kind of thing, and the Book of Dillygaff, which is a bit much, but it's still cool. I mean, I've followed Shannon Moore since his WWE days, and there's another contrast in the sense that even in the ring, you've got Beer Money, who are very, very traditional, mat-based, technical wrestler types, and you've got Ink Inc., which is you got a very powerful guy in Jesse Neal, and you've got a guy that's good at all the quick, high-flying stuff like Shannon Moore, which makes an interesting combination. The one thing I love about this, and I've got to say this, and I'll say it about the X Division match too, the belts are being pulled away from the Immortal storyline and actually getting to stand on their own as important parts of a pay-per-view, which is good, because when Immortal was doing their let's collect the belts bullshit, then the belts didn't mean anything, they were props, and now they're not, which is awesome. Also, like I said, I've followed Shannon Moore since he was in WWE, and I've watched, in the brief time that Jesse Neal has been in TNA, he did his hardcore shit with Rhino and the Dudleys and da-da-da-da-da, and then he's meshed together with Shannon Moore to form this, tag team that people with a bit of an attitude, people with a bit of a different slant on life can kind of appreciate, and it's awesome. I don't have everything written here. Like I say, once again, I'm just hitting the high points tonight in this video. Good chain wrestling from all 4 of them to start. Rude in the early going, hits a really, really nice slam on Jesse Neal. Rude and Jesse Neal then have a fairly good, shot for shot, sort of a slugfest for a little while. Beer Money hits a really, really good move. That resembles sort of Chris Jericho's Codebreaker, but it was like Rude held him up for the move, and then Storm brought him down for it. So, I don't know, extra angle, extra impact, whatever you want to say it. Jesse Neal hits a beautiful spear on Storm, and because of the way it was filmed and because of the way the commentators were going on at the time, I think it kind of goes under the radar. But towards the end, there you see a little bit of frustration out of Shannon Moore. He goes to grab his book with the chain on the end of it. He doesn't get to actually use it, but you can see that he wants to do sort of a heelish thing, and if they're trying to turn Ink heel, I'm going to be pissed, because they're a good face tag team. But the attempt to bring the book in and use that is distracted because Lance Storm, don't do that. James Storm gets a really, really sweet sidekick to Jesse Neal. The team of Beer Money hit a nice backbreaker and a nice DWI on Shannon Moore for the win. Very, very, very decent match. And Beer Money came back into the ring, called them back into the ring, and I thought they were going to do a good, respectful, hey, we had a good match, shake hands, whatever. Jesse Neal goes in, shakes their hands. Shannon Moore goes and grabs James Storm's beer and spits it in their face and bolts and tells off his own partner in the process. I'm going to say this, really, really decent match. As much as a fan as I am of Shannon Moore and of James Storm, this match was about 75% of Jesse Neal and Robert Roode going at it, and the intensity from both of them in this match was pretty good, I will say. I was already looking forward to it. It was even better than I thought. If they're taking Shannon Moore on a heel turn, I'll be kind of pissed, because I don't think he'll work as a heel. But, Ultimate X match, good for my money. Tag team match, good for my money. So you figure, okay, TNA is on the upsweep, right? Right, it makes sense to think that. Matt Hardy and AJ Styles. Ric Flair has started accompanying Matt Hardy to ringside. So, what do you want to say about the Hardys? Because, Jeff's got his head halfway up Hogan's ass, and now Matt's got his head halfway up Flair's ass. As the match started, AJ Styles was fired up. AJ Styles, for my money, is always fired up. Matt Hardy was very slow getting started. I won't say he was. I'm saying being put in a match against somebody like AJ Styles is always going to make Matt Hardy look slow, and that's unfortunate. In the first couple minutes of the match, they traded a lot of headlocks. AJ Styles eventually hits Matt Hardy with a really good dropkick. Matt initially intensifies, eventually his intensity comes up to match AJ's, but it takes a long time. By the time they're working on the outside, then his intensity is obviously up. He tries to whip AJ Styles into the barricade. AJ Styles pulls a pretty decent move to counter it. We've all seen before, especially with the lighter, faster guys. You try to throw somebody into somebody, you duck under the legs, and you get them from behind. Well, he got thrown into the guardrail, and he slid under the guardrail, hopped up on the guardrail, and came back at him with a forearm, which was quite decent. Matt Hardy brought him back into the ring with an looking like he was going to try and get him with a back suplex. Didn't get him in a back suplex at all. Just kind of threw him backwards, head and neck first into the turnbuckle. Then locked on the move that he showed last month, which was the sort of double underhook and lock both arms and then leg lace the body, except he was doing it on AJ while AJ was still standing. So I don't know what that's supposed to put pressure on, because I can't wrap my head around it, but it was a pretty decent, impressive looking move. And after AJ Styles breaks out of that, he starts selling sort of a neck, throat, you're not quite sure what's hurt on him, but you know something's hurt on him type of issue. AJ's down in the corner. Flair, for no reason at all that I can tell, reaches in and randomly grabs him by the balls. Really? They get back in, they start going back and forth pretty evenly again. They hit a double clothesline on each other. Now, the double clothesline is an overly used spot as it is, in my opinion. But they looked at each other like they'd both been hit really hard, but neither one of them fell. There's a nice kick by AJ, an attitude. There's a nice kick by AJ to Matt Hardy, to which AJ then pulls another neckbreaker off. But it wasn't like a cutter or anything like that. It was almost like an FU, like a John Cena FU, except he didn't land on the ground. He brought him down across his own knee, and then he brings him back up for a suplex neckbreaker, which is, you know, bring him over top and then bring him down as you bring him down. Tries for the Styles Clash, which Hardy counters out of nowhere into a really, really nice looking Alabama Slam. I don't know why Jeff Hardy's using the Alabama Slam, but it was okay, and it looked like there was some snap to it, so you know Jeff Hardy's awake. Styles gets back up, hits the Pele on Flair, who's on the apron, kind of going nuts like he does, and then Pele's Hardy off of the top rope, and then Styles, you know, when we're all thinking, okay, he's going to go for the Styles Clash again, no, he leaves Matt Hardy on the ground, hits the top rope hits the top turnbuckle with a spiral splash that apparently is called the Spiral Tap, according to Mike Tenay and Taz. I was not aware of that. For the win, and Styles, just for good measure, hits Ric Flair with a low blow as he's leaving the arena. Now we have more Karen and Jeff Jarrett bullshit. Oh yes, because that's not getting old at all. RVD and Anderson for the #1 contendership for the WWE, no, for the TNA World Championship. I mean, they should cut to the chase and have RVD, Anderson, and Hardy in a triple threat match, shouldn't they? Starts off and spends the good first couple of minutes into this match just being a strike fest with simple punches, simple kicks, you know, a couple duck unders here and there, a couple sweeps, a couple knockdowns, all that sort of thing. Until there's a leapfrog that is botched, like he just lands right on the other guy's shoulders when he tries to jump over him. Anderson's then tossed to the outside, hung over the railing, and RVD goes to do his typical, you know, from the apron to the railing leg drop. But he misses, and RVD ends up hanging his leg and his knee over the railing. Now, at this point, Anderson goes gangbusters on leg psychology on RVD, doesn't he? Ties him up around the ring post twice, several knee drops, and similar things to that to his knee once he's back in the ring. Single leg Boston Crab, ties him up in the ropes more than once, and hits a pretty decent looking chop block. Problem being, from there, for no reason at all, he goes from working the knee to working the head. And I mean, okay, you want to injure multiple parts of the body, go for it, but I don't understand the changeover. There was nothing that happened in the match that necessitated changing your strategy. But, you know, starts working the head, starts working several suplexes, neck breakers, cutter type maneuvers, and whatever. And they hit each other with a double clothesline. And like I said in the last match, the double clothesline is a very, very overused spot. It's almost the same as, I don't know, people that don't like people that use headlocks, people that use sleepers and such. You know, it's a spot in the match where obviously somebody needed a rest, but it's fine. So they slugfest out a little more, and, you know, random punching and nothing really too special about it at all, till they both crack heads, and they're both down again. They both eventually get up, they brawl up the ramp. Anderson hits a mic check on the steel, which supposedly, according to what the announcers were saying, affected his own head as much as it affected RVD's, and the match ends in a countout. Now, I don't want to get hung up on something very, very small, but the commentators almost fucked this up horribly, didn't they? When he hit the mic check on the outside, and Taz is sitting there, and he's saying, "Oh my God, look at this! I can't believe what we just saw. Let's get a replay of that." And Mike Tenay randomly stutters out with, "No, we've got to watch the ref. He's counting." And if that wasn't your clue that the match was going to end by countout, I don't know what was going to be. But I don't know how they could have done that and had it not be as obvious. So, so yeah, that was that. I don't think there was enough time given to this match. I don't think there wasn't any enthusiasm put into this match because, well, obviously the guys know who's going to win before they go into the match, and if the match, you know, the match you're in is going to end in a draw. How much enthusiasm can you really muster? So I guess it's understandable, but still not that great. Even if they were going to end it in a draw, they could have given these guys a lot longer to go, and it would have been a decent match, especially considering what happened in the next and final match. Sting and Jeff Hardy, oh yes, they come out to the ring. Jeff Hardy cuts a really lame promo in the back, wearing sunglasses, because he had something random to say about whenever Sting's not wearing any face paint, he wears sunglasses. So he was wearing sunglasses during his promo, and it was really like, okay, they just thought they were going to give Jeff Hardy some time to talk. There wasn't really any other purpose to it. But, you know, Sting comes down to the ring. Hardy comes down to the ring. I really hoped, and I know a lot of other people had said this already, I really hoped when Sting took the belt off Jeff Hardy they would go back to using the original TNA belt. But I'm afraid that the Jeff Hardy Enigma belt is going to become what the spinner belt became in WWE, and they're just going to leave it, and it's going to be lame, like the spinner belt is in the WWE. Bischoff comes out and says, yes, well, da-da-da-da-da, back on Impact, Jeff Hardy was at a disadvantage, so Sting, now you're at a disadvantage. We're going to make this a no disqualification match. Yeah, because we haven't had enough shitty no disqualification matches on this show already. So Jeff Hardy sits there, takes his shirt off, spends a good 2 minutes pretending to throw his shirt into the crowd, and not doing it because he's a heel. The crowd wants him to throw the shirt into the crowd, so he's not going to do it. But he does it for a good 2 minutes straight, goes into a stare down with Sting, and then goes back to teasing the crowd with the shirt. And, okay, finally locks up with Sting. They trade a couple of punches, they trade a couple of shots here and there. Scorpion Death Drop, win. This match was a minute long, and it was the main event. It was the title match, and it was a shitty way to end the pay-per-view. They went and they took the time, Don West and, or no, not Don West, Mike Tenay and Taz took the time to go through a video package of everything else that had happened in the pay-per-view. So you figure, okay, somebody is coming out to put a stop to this, or, you know, restart the match, or do some other bullshit like that, but no, they just left it. They had a less than minute long match that ended in one Scorpion Death Drop, and yeah. Jeff Hardy, the monster heel that they've been building for I don't know how long now, got buried in less than a minute, and that's shit. I swear to God, Sting probably gives Hogan some fucking good head for how this pay-per-view went tonight. I need it to be WrestleMania like now, because this is fucking bullshit. I don't know. I have nothing other than the tag title match and the X Division title match. There was nothing good on this show. I'm trying really hard not to bail on TNA like it seems everybody else has, but this doesn't make me very hopeful. Right? The next thing I have to say will probably be to do with the WWE, because thank God TNA doesn't have another show for a good long while. I'm going to bed. I'll talk to you guys later.